Hello and welcome to the program from the State Assemblies. This is where we review legislative activities across State Houses of Assembly. On this episode, Jigawa Flood Relief Trust Fund Bill passes second reading in State Assembly. Ogun Assembly confirms governor nominees for statutory commissions. Plus, Kaduna State House of Assembly passes law to protect rights of persons with disabilities. Details of this and more stories will be coming your way shortly. I am your host, Amina Saidu. Thank you for staying with us. In the week under review, an executive bill aimed at establishing a trust fund for the relief and rehabilitation of flood victims in Jigawa State has successfully passed second reading. The bill, presented by Governor Umar Namadi, underscores the persistent and devastating impact of flooding in the region, particularly as it occurs annually with dire consequences. Ibrahim Sani has more.
The discussion surrounding the bill was led by Majority Leader Law Muhammad Dansuri, who represents Ron constituency. Dansuri described the bill as not just timely but essential given the frequent flooding disasters that challenge the state's resilience and response mechanisms.
The state government wants to establish a trust fund specifically for assisting disaster control areas. If this House allow this bill to be ready for the second time, it will allow the government to have a specific fund, reserve fund, which will be used as soon as any disaster in the state happens. It will lay our hands on that regional fund so that it will take an immediate action.
His assertion reflects a growing consensus among the Assembly members regarding the necessity of proactive measures in addressing the plight of flood victims in the state.
I think this is one of the most happiest days for us in the riverine areas and in the front line, victims of floods, disasters in our state. Because it has become a perennial issue. Each year, lives, materials, and most of our farm produce has been washed away by flood and flood disasters.
Flooding has over the years led to the significant destruction in property and livelihoods, necessitating a systemic approach to rehabilitation and support. The establishment of the trust fund is perceived by members as a pivotal move towards enhancing transparency and accountability in disaster relief efforts. With the fund in place, it is expected that resources collected during flood emergencies can be monitored and utilized effectively, ensuring that aid reaches those most in need. According to members, the aspect of the bill aligns with the broader commitment to ethical governance and community welfare that many members of the Assembly advocate for. However, not all voices echoed unanimous approval of the bill. Abu Muhammad, member representing Megatari constituency, expressed varied opinion regarding its implementation. His argument reflected a concern that despite the noble intentions behind the bill, some of its objectives seems to duplicate that of the state's emergency management agency.
Almost all the functions are similar or the same with that of SEMA, that is State Emergency Management Agency. So what I'm saying, instead of establishing entirely different body, why not rehabilitate and overhaul the SEMA system and use the SEMA as a platform to do all these things?
Muhammad's hesitations highlight the critical nature of thorough planning and resource allocation that must accompany such initiatives to truly make a difference in the lives of flood victims. After comprehensive deliberations, the bill was referred to the Committee on Emergency Response for further examination. The committee is expected to report back within 3 weeks, suggesting that the Assembly is keen on moving forward without unnecessary delays.
In another development, Ogun State House of Assembly has confirmed the nominations of members of some statutory commissions sent to it by Governor Dapo Abiodun. The lawmakers also invited some stakeholders, involved in the Anko Borrowers program of the federal government over alleged illegal deductions from the personal savings of some of the subscribers of the program. Yemi Dalemo has details.
The confirmation of the nominees followed the presentation of the report of the Committee of the Whole House, chaired by the Assembly Speaker, Oludaisi Elemide, presented by his Deputy Bolanle Latifat Ajayi, who moved for its adoption, seconded by Minority Leader Lukman Adeleye, and supported by the Whole House through unanimous voice votes.
The committee found all the above listed nominees eligible and suitable to occupy their proposed position in the statutory commissions in the state towards contributing their individual quota to the development of the statutory commissions in view of their enviable wealth of experience.
It is the opinion of this Honorable House that the request of the Governor, His Excellency Prince Dr. Abiodun CON, for the confirmation of the nominees into some statutory commission be considered to as a resolution of this Honorable House. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Resolution of this Honorable House to His Excellency the Executive Governor for the State Prince Abiodun for further necessary action.
The Assembly observed a minute silence in honor of the late Publicity Secretary of the All Progressive Congress (APC) in Ogun State, Ambassador Tunde Oladunjoye, and a former state lawmaker, James Bankole, who died recently. Meanwhile, the chairman, House Committee on Agriculture, Waliu Owode, during an engagement with representatives of the victims of Anko Borrowers Program, invited stakeholders in the disbursement of the Anko Borrowers Fund to beneficiaries in Ogun State over the alleged withdrawals of their savings by a commercial bank, and directed the management of the bank to stop debiting the account of the victims who were supposed to be subscribers of the program.
Secondly, you have short time, maybe less than 2 weeks, to start refunding their money. And I have a question for you. On whose instruction or whose behalf are you debiting them now?
The committee chairman explained that the invitation was to enable the lawmakers have a clear picture on financial transactions that led to the illegal deductions on personal savings of the victims and ensure the recovery of their funds.
In Nasarawa State, government has reaffirmed its commitment to infrastructure, human capital development and social services. This was emphasized as Secretary to the State Government, Labaran Magaji, appeared before the State Assembly for the 2025 first quarter budget review. Adams Abdulkadir tells us more.
Discussants from private bodies, government agencies and ministry convened to discuss its provisions, a private-sponsored bill tagged Nasarawa State Policy on Climate Change and Other Purposes 2024. The proposed bill aims to strengthen environmental governance and address the pressing issues of climate change and to mitigate the effects of climate change. The overwhelming consensus was that the bill is timely, given the pressing concerns surrounding climate change.
Nobody is coming to save you. You have to save yourself first before some help could come. And that is what you have begun to do here with this public hearing. It's a very big step to saving yourself. My town that produces rice as big as Olam. You are emitting carbon dioxide through your company, we can see. Then we have farmers in Abuja. You'll be paying, Olam will pay the farmers that plant a tree that will be capturing this carbon. Then we pay you. Is there a company paying any farmer in Nasarawa State? I don't know. But these are something critical that this policy should look into. The issue of security and the issue of carbon tax.
The stakeholders acknowledged the need for effective measures to mitigate its impact and promote sustainable environmental governance. The discussants emphasized the importance of establishing an advisory committee to oversee the implementation of the bill's provisions. To the sponsor, Adamu Omondefu says the whole idea of the bill is to see things done in accordance with international best practices.
I deem it right to generate this bill, a private member bill, so that Nasarawa State will be properly positioned before the Committee of Nations, so that the financing if it comes to the country, Nasarawa State will have been positioned well to receive our own to mitigate the climate change and the effect of the climate change.
At the committee level, they pledged to look into their submissions and consider input from the stakeholders.
When we were serving in our little effort at that time, we tried to ban the production of charcoal. We try in our own way to mitigate the effects of climate change by trying to control whatever effects it will have on our ozone layers.
Still in Nasarawa, major players in the environment sector have voiced their support for a bill aimed at enhancing climate resilience and environmental governance in the state. A one-day public hearing was held on a bill tagged Nasarawa State Policy on Climate Change, Bill and Other Purposes 2024. Again, Adams Abdulkader completes the report.
Laying claim to the transformative projects of the present administration, including the construction of landmark flyover, underpass, bus terminal, and Nigerian's first and largest lithium processing plant, during the 2025 budget performance, Secretary to the Nasarawa State Government, Labarin Magaji, has assured citizens that his office will ensure all government agencies, departments, and ministries adhere to the government's policy direction. Through his oversight role, Magaji will coordinate these entities to guarantee effective governance in the state.
What we have done is, so far, we have been able to deliver on the mandate given to us. And what that therefore means is that we are hoping that before the year runs out, more are expected to be done. He has won time without number against early campaign, which is going to really distract people from the act of governance. So this message should be taken very seriously so that it can go into the nook and cranny of the state.
According to him, for the remaining 2 years of the administration, he pledged to vigilantly monitor activities, ensuring that the right decisions are made and implemented accordingly.
One of the initiatives is to put all the MDAs on their toes to ensure that within the next 2 years, the mandate of His Excellency to move Nasarawa State, lift Nasarawa State, and live in Nasarawa State better than he met it is actualized. We can't say anything less than 100%. We must achieve that 100%. And through the instrumentality of the Office of the Secretary to the Government, we are going to put a check, very close look at all the performances of all the MDAs across the state.
The chairman of the House Committee on Public Accounts and his team assured a continued working relationship for the progress and development of the state.
We agree that you just step in not quite long, 3 months, and I know you are going to put us together. I know in the next 3-4 months you are still coming back again. That is what the law says. So we will continue to engage ourselves on this oversight function.
The committee commended the executive for organizing the retreat for the new political appointees, saying it will serve as an eye-opener, aiding their job efficiency.
Moving on, the Kaduna State House of Assembly has passed into law the bill to promote and protect the rights of persons with intellectual, psychosocial or cognitive disabilities 2023. Adamu Sunday reports that the sponsor of the bill and member representing Kauru Chawe constituency, Haruna Barnabas, described the law as a step towards ensuring inclusivity, dignity and access to quality mental health services for vulnerable individuals in the state.
Over time in some African countries, drug abuse and related offenses have been viewed through different lenses. In some communities, young people struggling with substance abuse or those who have dropped out of school are often stigmatized and seen as outcasts, unworthy of inclusion in society. In response to this and other related issues, the member representing Kauru Chawe constituency, Haruna Barnabas, sponsored a bill to establish a mental health services department in Kaduna State. The bill titled A Law to Promote and Protect the Rights of Persons with Intellectual, Psychosocial or Cognitive Disabilities provide for the enhancement and regulation of mental health services in Kaduna State, and for related matters 2023 aims to help drug addicts reintegrate into society and become productive members of their communities.
Is hereby passed into law.
Where you see guys who are taking drugs, we see them as if they don't add any value. but we're trying to see how we can make them add value to society, even as they take, because some of them is not even their fault. Some of them are being pushed into it. So this bill seeks to create an agency that will manage that crisis entirely.
In another development, the Kaduna State Senior Secondary Schools Education Board Bill 2025 has passed its second reading and referred to the Committee on Education for in-depth study and scrutiny. The sponsor of the bill, Mahmoud Lawa Ismaila, who represents Zaria City constituency, stated that the proposed legislation will provide a foundation for the growth and development of senior secondary schools across the state.
The board is expected to take the affairs of managing the activities of all our senior secondary schools across the state. That's number one. Number two, to manage the funds that are available for senior secondary school, including amount for maintenance, repairing, and building of secondary schools in the state.
Similarly, a bill seeking to amend the Kaduna State Customary Law number 9 of 2021 as amended has also passed second reading and referred to the Joint Committee on Judiciary for further examination and recommendations.
You're watching the program from the State Assemblies, a program that reviews legislative activities in the State Houses of Assembly across the nation. We now take a break. When we return, Speaker Obasa calls for unity as court declares initial removal unconstitutional. Akwa Ibom House of Assembly Speaker calls for peace and unity as Christians observe Easter. Stay with us.
Are you looking for a short channel to make your business, goods and services go viral? Look no further, as NTA Parliament is your short channel. Take advantage of our wider reach and advertise your products and services on NTA Parliament DSTV channel 370, GoTV channel 126, StarTimes channel 306, and Free TV channel 706. For more inquiries, contact the Marketing Department, NTA Parliament, NTA Headquarters Area 11 Garki Abuja, or call these numbers 080-383-40464 or 080-770-78055. NTA Parliament, strengthening Nigeria's democracy.
Welcome back. The Kaduna State House of Assembly has passed the Kaduna State Water User Association Bill into law. This comes after the adoption of a report presented by the Chairman House Committee on Public Works and Infrastructure. Adamu Sunday reports that the House also received and approved a report recommending action against Bebeji Integrated Services Limited for its failure to complete the Tudunsaibu Modern Market.
After reading the bill for the first and second time, lawmakers suspended the House rules and referred the bill to the House Committee on Public Works and Infrastructure for further study and scrutiny. Following this, the bill was read for the third time and subsequently passed into law. Additionally, the report from the chairman of the House Committee on Market Development, Ali Khalad, regarding a petition against Bebeji Integrated Services Limited for failing to complete the Tudun Sebu Modern Market in Soba local government area was received and adopted based on the committee's recommendations.
The committee strongly recommends that the development lease agreement signed between Soba local government and developer Bebeji Integrated Services Limited be terminated.
Moreover, a bill to repeal the outdated Kaduna State Polytechnic Edict and officially establish the institution as New Bamale Polytechnic in line with its current name was introduced. Having read the bill for the second time, it was referred to the Joint Committees on Education and Judiciary for further review. The sponsor of the bill, Emmanuel Bakokantiok, pointed out the discrepancy between the institution's actual name and its legal framework.
We now take you to Ekiti, where members of the Ekiti State House of Assembly have stressed the need for promoting the concept of good conduct among children and the youths in the state through a statewide sensitization campaign and enlightenment program. This was part of resolution at the plenary session of the Assembly following a motion on the imperatives of promoting the Omulabi concept among Ekiti children and youths, which was moved by the lawmaker representing Ado Constituency 1, Ayodeji Adegbite, and seconded by the lawmaker representing Oyo Constituency 1, Topelonge. The lawmaker submitted that high moral decadence being witnessed in the society can be attributed to the failure on the part of parents calling on government to include the teaching of ethics and moral values in the school curriculum at all levels. Other members commended the mover of the motion for calling the attention of the lawmakers to the ugly trend among the youth in the society in recent times and condemned the level of moral decadence in the state, adding that by promoting the concept of good conduct among children and the youths, the society will be better. Speaker, Lagos State House of Assembly, Mudashiru Obasa has described the Lagos State High Court ruling which declared his initial removal in January illegal, unconstitutional, null and void as a win for the Assembly as an institution. This is contained in a statement released by his media office. He said that the court decision reinforces the desire for the lawmakers to see the need to forge ahead in unity and harmony and continue to work for the good of residents across the state. Justice Yetunde Pinero of the Lagos State High Court in Ikeja on Wednesday also nullified the proceedings and resolutions of the Assembly held on January 13, 2025, during which Obasa was ousted from office. Obasa had filed a suit on February 12, 2025 through his counsel, Chief Afolabi Fashanu, challenging his removal because it was effected while the Assembly was on recess and he was outside the country. The Speaker further argued that the House session during which he was removed was unlawfully convened and lacked proper authority for any formal delegation of power from the Speaker's House. He named the House of Assembly and the Deputy Speaker, Mojisola Miranda, as defendants. Speaker, Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, Udeme Otong, is calling on Christians to reflect and renew their faith through the death and resurrection of Christ Jesus, who was crucified on the cross of Calvary for the sins of mankind. Assembly correspondent Nsika Kokon reports that the Easter Goodwill message was presented during plenary.
The Speaker, Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, is thankful to God for life to witness another Easter celebration. He called on his colleagues to be prayerful as they embark on 2025 Easter break and use the season to strengthen the bonds of fellowship among their family members and their constituencies.
I must commend each and every one of us, the honorable members, for their hard work and diligence you have exhibited in serving your constituency so rightly and working within our lines of duties vis-à-vis lawmaking, oversight, and representation.
He commends Governor Moino for the continued encouragement of religious harmony in the state, which allows citizens the freedom to express their faiths.
Your passion for the development of the Bible state and the well-being of our people is a true spirit of leadership and service so profound. And may the season bring you and your loved ones abundant joy, good health, and renewed strength.
The Abang representative Otong prayed God that the lessons of the death and resurrection of the Lord Jesus Christ should inspire them to continue to build a house that stands for love, peace, and progress for the betterment of Akwa Ibom State and Nigeria at large.
This is where we call it a day on this week's episode of the program from the State Assemblies. Remember, you can still watch this episode, news and other programs on our social media handles showing on your screen. Thank you for watching. I remain your host, Anina Saidu.